Good evening, Ramya.
Good evening. Hi.
So good to have you today in Jam with Sam. I think we know each other from what, 2011?
Yes.
At
Social media.
Week. So incident which happened there is I met her. I've always got this habit of going and talking to anchors, not all the anchors. So I went met her and talking about the social media week and all, and then that event got over. And I went for another event. I think it was the ET event or something, and there Kavya was there. And they look dissimilar now, but at that time they were exactly the same. So I went, I'm talking to her and this and that, and she's also talking to nicely and all that stuff. Then I said, there's something over here, no? I'm not able to. I said, you're Ramya? No, I'm Kavya, I'm a twin sister. I said, like, that is my first thing. I said, no, if you're a friend of Ramya, you're my friend also. And then we both met each other. And during networking at 9, I think about 3 years back, so before COVID. So she had come as a speaker over there on communication and all. And Ramya also was there on Curafluence, if you remember. She was the speaker over there on communication. She spoke there.
Yes.
That's great. Great. A bit about your life start. Where did you grow up? School, college, and one lesson from there.
Superb. Okay, so first thing, good evening once again, and I'm very happy that I'm here. So thank you for this opportunity because I get to hear about Curafluence and the work that you do thanks to Kavya. So I'm really happy to be in midst of all of you. I thought I'd just start with a very quick story. This is how it starts, like once upon a time. The same way, like more than 3 decades back, the 4-year-old Ramya, right, sitting and along with her twin sister, we were sitting and waiting for our dad to come back from office because we were waiting for a swimming pool sessions because Papa would come back and he was working with the Indian Navy, so he would come back and take us for swimming pool. So we were waiting, but we were in Bombay, in Colaba, and we know what happens in June, July in Bombay. Really heavy monsoons, which I'm sure we'll be waiting for. And we are waiting and we're looking outside. By then Mom realized that swimming nahi hone wala, abhi kya kare? And there are not 2 but 4 curious eyes looking at her swimming. So she realized that, okay, let me go tell a story. Maybe a story will help, divert their attention. So she tells us a story of the frog in the well. She's telling the story beautifully. She's narrating and she says, this frog, doesn't move out of the well, eventually chooses to go and sees a whole new world. And she looks at us and says, so beta, what is the moral of the story? And we are looking at her and she somehow looked at me, maybe because I had some different expression. So she said, okay, Ramya, what's the moral of the story? And I happened to say, I want to be the frog in a swimming pool. Right? The mind away with her. And then I think the reason I share the story, because that's part of the journey, is a lot has of course changed in the last 3 decades, but 3 things that haven't changed is 1, my love for swimming pool. It's not changed. But 2, the love for storytelling and also the power of stories. Which is exactly what we are doing through Kalaneca and weaving stories. We don't sell saris. Saris can be stole, but it's the stories that need to be told. So we're doing that through Kalaneca. And I think 3rd is the love for the storyteller, who in this case was my mom. And it's our mom who's the reason behind Kalaneca. And that's the vision that I'm trying to drive by being the full-time co-founder of Kalaneca.
Superb.
Yes.
Okay, coming back to the question. Where did you grow up? Which school, college you attended, and one lesson from there?
Lovely. So, because Dad was with the Indian Navy, we were all over the place. But I think we were in Colaba in Bombay, then Cochin, Vijayawada. But one of the favorite experiences of Dad's transfers is the fact that we used to keep meeting new people, new friends. So I think networking was something that, if not naturally that came to me, it came because of my dad's profession. And even to understand the power of networks. So the biggest lesson I ever learned with Dad being in the Navy and through my entire brought up is it's people who drive those conversations, people with whom you're with them, for them. As I think Pratap just said, right? Business happens, it's friendship. So I think that's one of the biggest lessons I learned by in this entire journey.
Something about your family, parents, siblings?
Yes, so parents, yes. While mom is a housewife, but an avid stock market trader. She loves the stock market, and thanks to her, we both started watching CNBC TV 18, and one of our inspiration is Shireen Bhan, who's the anchor with CNBC TV 18. So she's into it. So she knows her numbers, she knows which stock, and she does it even till date. So sitting at home, I go to take my chai, and mom's like, okay, this. Wow. So that's mom. Dad, because he was with the Indian Navy, and then he's retired now, and both of them are very happy, retired, and they run behind my daughter, and my daughter loves them, and my sibling is right here.
Right here.
And all of you know her as well.
Okay, we come to quick gun, Sam. Work from home or work from office?
Work from anywhere.
Work from anywhere.
Work from anywhere. It helps.
Great. If you could have a conversation with a fictional character, who would it be and what would you talk about?
Interesting. I don't know how many of you guys have watched Suits. There you go, right? How many fans of Harvey Specter and Donna? Right? I think the fictional character, I would choose either Harvey Specter but also Donna because, I think her self-talk is the best ever. So my conversation with them would be, even at times when things are going down, see when things are going great, we always tell ourselves and pep ourselves and say, oh, we are awesome. But when things are not going in your favor, what would you tell yourself? So I want to ask Donna that question. So she's my favorite fictional character.
Superb. If you are a flavor of ice cream, which one would you be?
That's a good one. I'm Ramya, so rum and raisin.
Rum and raisin. Wow, great.
Yeah.
You can make alcoholic ice cream also. I'll chop that out. Don't worry. He can make anything.
So yes, rum and raisin would it be?
Great. So your earlier career and your journey till now.
Okay. Yeah. Any other South Indian, an engineer by education. I was an electronics engineer, but then I always knew that I would be choosing a different path from there. Went on to do learning and development with HCL Technologies, and that was a very funny encounter for the interview. But I think I really enjoyed my stint with HCL in Noida, 2 years, beautiful 2 years, and then told myself, this is the time to explore and do something very different. So left HCL, joined TV9 as a news anchor and a business reporter, and I think that's where Mum's CNBC also helped a little, to understand the stock market. And I had my own show, which I was anchoring and producing, which was a walk the talk with entrepreneurs. Did that, enjoyed the stint at TV9 as a news anchor as well. But then again told myself, what's something else that we can do? This is the age to experiment. I came to Bombay, and by chance I started learning this beautiful dance form called belly dance. And I think somewhere I credit that dance form to, for it to be absolutely graceful, and more importantly, it embodies who you are. It makes you believe in yourself, and beautiful dance form. Started doing that, and then Reliance Industries gave me a call and said, hey Ramya, we want your expertise in L&D. I said, okay, let's do this. The good thing of working with Reliance, which has been 11 years, I left Reliance recently in December end, is I got to work with Isha Ambani, with Mrs. Neeta Ambani, and I think the kind of work that I got to do with them was phenomenal. So I felt that after 11 years, I've done it all. Learned a lot at Reliance, and I think in the center phase I realized that I would want to take the story of Kalaneca forward. So as I left Reliance, I said this is the time to take the vision forward, and now I'm completely with Kalaneca to drive this narrative.
Why did you decide to do your MBA after so many years of work?
So 2 reasons. So as I said, right, I got through HCL as well. I had got through Symbiosis in my MBA, but I think at that time when you're young, you're like, "Arey, paisa kamana hai." So I chose to do HCL. But I think now, when I'm trying to drive the whole narrative of Kalaneca forward, I felt joining a premier institute will also, it's not about networking there alone, but I think there are lots of business terminologies, understanding strategy, understanding a lot of things which I felt was required. And I believe in the whole aspect of upskilling. I think how many of us, I have a question here if I can ask.
Sure.
Okay, all right. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Anyone? Yes, please. Yes, ma'am.
I learned to ride a bullet.
Like, wow.
How cool is that? How cool is that? Yes, yes. Pooja, you're raising hand.
I'm learning about this.
Bacchus. Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Yes, Nakul.
I produced a film last year, short film. I didn't know how to make it.
That is a big learning indeed, right? A lot of that. Yes, I think we had someone else. Yes. All right. So there you go, right? All of you believe in upskilling and doing something new and adding. For me, I believed that upskilling was required, and that's when I now joined ISB. And I think I'm thoroughly enjoying being a student back there. Come back, put all the learnings into Kalaneca. So that helps me in every way. So now.
Why was it ISB and not a SPJ or something like that?
I think ISB has a lot of focus on entrepreneurship.
Sure. Okay.
One of the biggest reasons was that.
ISB is much better. I am ex-SPs.
Yes.
That's the question.
ISB is much better now.
Yeah, it's now, and I think I think all of you agree, entrepreneurship is a very heavy focus. So I felt that would be one. I had another option of London Business School as well, but I think ISB is doing phenomenally well and pushing it. And my entire interview was about Kalaneca, so I knew that this is the place. If I get it, I know I'll be able to take all the learnings and put it here.
Superb,
Yeah.
superb. Okay, now coming to Kalaneca. What inspired you to start a sari brand and what makes your saris unique?
Lovely. So what inspired us is our mom. Our mom was the one who used to go meet the weavers and talk to them, and then we decided that let's take that story forward to the world. Another thing is, okay, another question here. How many of you have heard of Kanjivarams? See, all hands in the air. Banarasis. Uppada, before Kavya spoke about it. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. That's about it. Yes. That's the reason why Kalaneca is here. It's because while there's a tiny village, 1,500 of them, but the work that they're doing is so beautiful and the stories that they are trying to tell is so lovely, we said we would want to be the catalyst to take that story forward and let the world know of Uppada. So that's why Kalaneca. What makes our saris stand out is, okay, one technical piece over here. Unlike other saris, the entire sari, like the one that I'm wearing right now, is woven in one length, so nothing is attached. So it will either make or break in one shot. Even when threads come out, it becomes difficult for the weavers to weave. So it's woven in one length, complete one length, and it's grand, but very, very lightweight. 250, 300 grams. We had a bride recently tell us that she was running around nicely wearing the sari because she felt so lightweight, and I think that's another unique piece about the sari.
Interesting. Okay, what steps do you take to promote sustainability and ethical practices
Lovely.
in the production of your saris?
Lovely. Our saris do not contain any plastic. We believe in no polyester sari. Now, there are people who do, and that's absolutely okay. And I think that's our little contribution that we can do towards sustainability is not involve any polyester in our saris, number one. Second, I think saris themselves are sustainable because koi jab pehante hain, so you keep it within your wardrobe. And eventually, I would want my daughter to start wearing my saris, and that's what becomes a sustainable practice. And we are very clear. We will be in this area of making saris that are legacy saris, and no fast fashion over here.
Okay. How do you stay updated with all the latest fashion trends, but keeping the essence of your traditional saris intact?
So I think technology comes in picture over here, and especially social media, and also talking to people. And I think when we end up meeting people of the like-minded business, we talk to them, find out what else is happening. Now, we might know what's happening in Uppada in India, but there's so much more that's happening abroad. So start meeting more people, and this is where networking helps. Social media to an extent, because there's a lot of information people are sharing. So it's good to hop in and leverage on technology when it's free right there for you. So that's how we also stay updated and try and see how we can reinvent and reimagine this very sari that we're creating.
Superb. Can you share some memorable moments of experience you had while on a global stage?
Yes, of course. I think, so we had this one lady, she just loved one sari that she bought from us. And then she said, hi, I'm hosting a party for my 10 very close friends. So I want the same sari for all 10 of us. And we thought, and we were wondering if it's some bridal shower or something of that sort, but no, but she just loved hosting a sari party. She ordered from us 10 very similar saris, ditto, it's bronze and black, and they all just caught up, met up, talked to one another, enjoyed with one another, having conversations, and they all wore the same sari, and this was in US. So this lady sitting in US, she bought this, and I think another one would be where we have this lady called Seema Anand. She's very, very famous, and I think more importantly, she's a leader in her own right. So when her team reached out to us saying, your saris are very different, unlike many brands, and so is your story, we would want to probably have Seema Anand wear one sari. So we gave 2 saris to her, and she loved it. And when she wore it, it's not about followers kitne hai ya sales kitne hoye. It's the narrative which we believe is wear your power. Whoever you are, wear your power. That narrative got translated there on a global stage. She actually chose to wear a sari when she was going as a speaker on a global stage. So I think that for Kalaneca and for our viewers back, when they get to know in Telugu, they actually say, Ammagaru, to us, they say, Ammagaru chala bondi. And they feel very happy. They smile, we smile, customers smile. So it's like a whole loop that's close. So yeah, those are 2 simple
Superb.
stories.
One of the things is the younger generation. How you attracting the younger generation with some new techniques or innovations. What are you doing for that?
Lovely, yeah. I think the Gen Z today is actually calling the shots and the narrative for all the businesses. So one of the ways we are attracting the Gen Z is through styling of saris. Today what I'm wearing is a pure silk sari, which typically is traditional in its motifs. But the moment I add a belt, the moment probably I style it differently. We ourselves style in 20, 30 different styles, and there are more than 300 ways of wearing a sari, by the way. So styling of a sari helps attract the Gen Z, and then when they come to us, which we did recently in an event as well, when they come to us and they ask us, oh, that's such a light sari, I would like to buy it. So it's the style that attracts the make, more than the make in itself. Because let's be honest, they wouldn't want to know the intricacies, kitne threads gaye hain, isme kitne weavers, they don't want to know that. But if they find it stylish, they'll come back to it. So one way is styling the sari differently. And then of course talking about sustainability, because I think that's another piece that Gen Z is really focusing on. We all are aware of climate change, but they are driving this narrative of contributing to this to the society. So sustainability is another piece.
Superb. What role does social media play for promoting and influencing and showcasing your sarees?
A lot.
Okay.
90% of our sales happens thanks to social media. 90%. They come to our social media page, they find something intriguing, then they go to our website and buy. In fact, sometimes sales happen directly on DMs. The team takes care of that, saying, okay, which sari? We direct them to the website, but some of them who want the answers very fast, they just shop directly on social media. And I think in today's generation where businesses are there, we are also thriving, or rather we are doing phenomenally well because we are harping on the power of social media. So I would say 90% of our sales suffer.
How important do you think is the website and the whole design?
It is. I think when you don't have a retail store yet, your website becomes a retail store. So if somebody comes in and opens Kalaneca page, and if they're not impressed, 1 second, they'll move to another. बहुत सारे sari brands हैं. Why only Kalaneca? So design over management plays good role in website. But once they come to the website, then comes a more important role, which is how do I hold them there. So yes, the website plays a very important role, especially when you don't have a retail store, because that's your retail space out there.
So are you using Shopify or some technology like that? You're using Shopify?
Yes, we are using Shopify. I think brilliant templates out there, and we've always been using. We did try WooCommerce, but I think I would definitely, if somebody ever asks me, I'll say Shopify or WooCommerce, because Shopify also updates itself.
Correct.
Very seamless.
Correct. Can you highlight any collaborations or partnerships you've done with some personalities or some influencers to promote your brand?
Oh yes, absolutely. One of the things that we ever did is, I think so far, we never had to get in touch with the typical influencer marketing, pay for them. We somehow got in touch with people who align with what Kalaneca is. Even for example, when Ms. Seema Anand's team got in touch with us, or for that matter, even we had, Anu Menon, I think all of you know her as ex-Lola Kutti, right? I mean, all of them. And then we have very important dancers, classical dancers. We being classical dancers, we had classical dancers reach out to us. So they themselves are influencers in their own space. And has it helped Kalaneca? The answer is yes. Because they bring in not just their own knowledge, but when they take the sari, they drape it in their own way. We had a classical dancer drape it in a kashta style because she was performing a dance. We had, probably Anu Menon, who wore it for another event, for a wedding, and it did help. It did help in sales. It did help in followership. But we've always reached out or spoken to influencers who align with what Kalaneca is. Because I think that being authentic is more important, and that's the key that drives them.
Superb. How do you ensure that this sarees cater to different preferences? There are a lot of different preferences, different tastes, like you said, Kanjivaram, all this.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah, so I think we are very clear about one thing. So if anyone comes to us and says, hi Ramya, do you have a Kanjivaram? We direct them to the Kanjivaram Instagram handles, who we also trust. And we say, please buy from them. They're very good. So if somebody is coming to just ask me that, okay, I need a silk sari for an occasion. So then our conversations start. Okay, what is it for? What kind do you want? And where we both come in picture more than our team is when customizations happen. And we have noticed that recently a lot of people reach out for customizations. And we actually create that one sari in the world which nobody will ever get it. We in fact get it made, the graph rolls out, is kept inside after the sari is made. So if people come for Kanjivaram, we send them to Kanjivaram. If people come for Banaras, we say, sorry, we do not have it yet. Then when people come and say, okay, I want something to wear for my office, we say, okay, let's drive this conversation. So far, we've never had people coming for other types, but they've come for office wear, party wear, wedding, bridesmaid. My mom's 50th birthday and I want to gift her a sari. Mother's Day. For all these occasions, we are always there. So we just drive conversations and make it happen.
What are the metrics you're using right now? Like how many, things have come in, how many inquiries have come in? Do you have a kind of a sales program or something for that?
Yes. So currently it's manual. We would be soon trying to work on, automating it, but currently it's manual, where we have a team. And one part of it which I take care of as well and heavily interested is the kind of numbers that are coming in. More importantly, if 10 people have visited the website, how many conversions have happened? And I think that becomes a very important piece, because that also talks about how easy it is to access my website. And when there is a glitch that's happening, it's addressed right then and there. We have our developers. So one of the matrices that we follow is number of people visited versus number of conversions. Second, the number of conversations on DMs saying, hi, I want a sari, versus, okay, this is it, I paid, I want, that's another big metrics. And the third one is influencers ke dwara, when influencers wear the sari, how many conversions have happened through them. We see that as well, because at the end that ROI is important, so we see these three.
How important you think is influencer marketing, and what are the two things you see in any, a person who's got an Instagram profile, what are the couple of things, almost everything is Instagram nowadays, what are the couple of things you look for an influencer, ki, yeah, this person can add to my brand, or this person is not the right person?
Beautiful. Influencer marketing is in and is here to stay. What we see at Kalaneca is who the target audience of that influencer is. Now, there are multiple influencers we individually follow who are brilliant in theirs, but if their target audience is not going to buy from Kalaneca, genuinely, they don't become an influencer for me. It doesn't make sense for both of us to waste our time. So what we see is not only the numbers, okay, followers is great, that's a great number, but we see the target audience. We also see how often do they wear a sari, how often do they carry off their sari, because you can't be wearing sari once a year and then, because it generally doesn't spark the interest for us at Kalaneca. So and I'm not saying you need to wear it every day, but are you wearing, and is your audience interested in that conversation of a sari? That becomes another very important aspect. So I think as brands, we need to be very careful about who we are choosing as influencers. All of them are doing a phenomenal work, but are they catering to the right target audience that matches me? If my target audience currently is not an 18-year-old, my target audience is very evident that it's about 28, 27 above, earning individuals. So it's not a college-going person currently. So I will not go to an influencer who caters to that. I'll go to an influencer who's probably 30, who's catering to audience that's 30, 45, 50, 60, who's probably a classical dancer, who's probably a storyteller like Seema Anand, who's probably a fashion influencer herself, but also talks about saris. You don't just wear a sari and show up, but you talk about it. So that's
Interesting.
also.
Very good, very good. Super. Work-life balance, how do you manage?
I should say I'm blessed here, and it takes a village, basically, because I've got my parents back home, thankfully, and my daughter is Danica, and while right now I put her in clay, and I do take care of her as much as possible, but whenever I have, like for example, I've come here today, I know that my parents are right there, and they can put her to sleep. So it does take a village, and I'm blessed. So I have support from friends and family. And when my parents leave, what I also do is when my parents leave for Kakinada, because mom keeps meeting the weavers, I know I've already created an ecosystem. I think that's another piece, that we as individuals need to create that ecosystem so that everything is balanced. We've got to work it out. So yeah.
Super. What are your other hobbies?
Oh, okay. So one is, of course, belly dancing. I still pursue dancing, and I love that. And whenever events happen, I'm part of events as well. And currently, the biggest hobby is run around and run behind my daughter, which is the best cardio. I used to ask these questions to others before, oh, how do you stay fit? You'll get to know. And I know it. So yeah, that's my big hobby now, to watch her smile and some cute milestones. So yeah.
Super. Ramya, thank you so much. It was so good fun interviewing you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those lovely questions, and thank